Welcome to the Specialist Supervisor Training for our bold approach to our project's business. During this course, we will discuss our changing world and how you as a supervisor can help your teams adapt to new technologies and processes. Bluebeam, Standards for Engineering, Programming, Graphics, and As-Builts, APT, using Reich to manage specialists. Moore's Law states that roughly every 18 months, computing power will double and prices will be reduced. For over 50 years, Moore's Law has held true. Just think about the price of computing hardware. Today, your cell phone contains more computing hardware than was available to put a man on the moon. As technology continues to evolve in an exponential manner, processes and workflows must also evolve. Moore's Law has now found its way into our arena as we are at the precipice of the fourth great industrial revolution. Industry 4.0 will fundamentally impact the specialist role moving forward. As our organization broadens its scope of work to include energy management and other functional areas within Siemens, our offerings and know-how will need to continue to evolve. With that said, our efforts need to be better focused on enabling our employees to be early adapters of new and changing technologies. As a supervisor, it is your responsibility to help your employees become comfortable with the new tools and processes that are associated with our smart project delivery approach. Even with the physical restraints of Moore's Law being somewhat tamped down for the traditional BT project space, Industry 4.0 and organizational changes from building technologies to smart infrastructure act as a multiplier. Today, the current technology has outpaced humans' ability to adapt to change. Your efforts should be focused on working with your employees to help shift them along the adaptation rate curve. All of the following training is geared around giving you the tools you'll need to be successful in this new transformation of our project delivery. Bluebeam is a new software application that must be downloaded to your laptop. It is a very powerful PDF markup and editing tool that can replace current software for working with all PDFs. It is, however, much more than a PDF editing software. Bluebeam will be the mechanism in which the digital deployment package is sent to your teams, and they will then use Bluebeam to make required red lines to site drawings, as well as the method of sending back as-built to the Zone Technical Center. Each project will have a unique Bluebeam Studio Project ID. Studio Project is basically an online filing cabinet that uses Amazon Web Servers to handle all cloud storage of documents. Bluebeam Studio sessions allow for real-time collaboration with the contents of a Bluebeam Studio project. This means that specialists can collaborate in real time with members of the ZTC, as well as customers and subcontractors to ensure all ends of the value chain are on the same page. Additional Bluebeam-specific training is available for your team members. Engineering is further standardized through Bluebeam by being the delivery mechanism of the digital deployment package to the project manager and on-site execution team. It is also the method for getting red lines and as-builts from the on-site execution team back to engineering. Engineers, graphic designers, programmers, digital deployment specialists, project managers, specialists. Bluebeam is used by engineering personnel to create the digital deployment package for projects. Your PMs are to use Bluebeam to identify changes related to RFI responses, identify change orders, as well as other changes to project scope. Some of the benefits of using Bluebeam are engineer submittals will include intelligent tagging, linking, device counts, schedules, and run lengths. Collaborate using Project Studio and Studio Session. Specialists will use Bluebeam to document site conditions, red lines, and the creation of as-builts. 1. Accessing DDP. Each 44 OP project will have an associated studio project in Bluebeam. This is how your execution teams will access the output of the Zone Technical Center. The studio project ID will be provided by the technical coordinator and be available in Reich. 2. Revision tracking and markups for as-builts. After connecting to the studio project for the project you are working on, you will use the features of Bluebeam to check out drawings and use the Bluebeam suite of markup tools to make all required red lines and updates to any drawings. 3. Cloud collaboration submittal drawings. Your team will use studio sessions to collaborate in real time with members of the ZTC as needed to address issues, questions, and/or concerns. 4. returning as-builts back to the ZTC. After all as-builts have been created, they will be sent back to the ZTC through updating the Studio project in Bluebeam. 1. The Bluebeam software must be ordered by MyIT and then installed through Run Advertised Programs, Windows 7, or Software Center, Windows 10. 2. Add the dashboard creation profile. 3. Establish an account to the Cloud Collaboration feature, Studio, using a Siemens email address. In order to achieve our goals and the continued scaling of our business, we are basing our project delivery on certain standards. Standards allow for a repeatable process and a predicted outcome. This all starts with a standard approach to how our engineers design our solutions. We will take a quick look at some changes to the engineering. What do we mean when we say standards? In this case, engineering standards are comprised of two major elements: Project Bold standards and account-based standards. Project Bold standards are a common way to work. These standards provide the tools to design, program, and create user interfaces for our customer systems. Account-based standards are the common way we configure and set up customer systems. This is an area that is unique to each of our existing customers. New customers have yet to define their standards, so common company methods are provided to be used with first-time customers. These core elements come together to transform how we design, program, install, configure, and commission our systems. Our engineering standards are Standard Project Delivery, a standard digital deployment package, tools to support project execution, standard process to execute engineering tasks, and technical expertise available across the zone. Building Technologies has standardized our submittal requirements. These new standards focus on two areas: the sections within the submittal and what is required to be included in the sections. First, let's talk about sections of submittals. Submittals will be separated into 6 sections, and each of these sections is required. Please note that it is not intended that every section must be completed at the same time. For example, schedules and control drawings can be completed earlier than panel layouts, which would be completed and included in the submittal later. Additionally, there are now requirements of what content should be included in the sections. The details of each standard is best understood by reviewing the Engineering Submittal Standards procedure. The document is available in the Detailed Design section of the ZTC Work Instructions found in Bluebeam Studio. A key element of the new bold approach to our project's business is the standardization of panel fabrication and wiring. One of our highest priorities is to adopt engineering standards to support the prefabrication of our systems prior to the field installation. The outputs of all of our engineering activities will be to support the next steps of panel building. The fabrication of our panels has become standard. This includes standard sizes, standard layouts, and standard wiring practices. The results of designing, programming, and part selection come together during the fabrication and testing of all panels. We're all transforming the way we work in order to support the digital deployment of our systems prior to field installation. Not only will the system be engineered and assembled in a standard way, they will be tested and verified prior to leaving the fabrication shop. Now the panels will be checked to confirm that wiring is correct. They will be loaded with programs, and a number of system-related functions will be included. We have standardized our programming efforts by incorporating them into our engineering process, taking the task off-site. Most significantly, there is a dedicated team of programmers that will complete and test a program prior to delivering to the job site. As part of this process, programmers will estimate the effort to complete the work. Planning as to when areas and systems are to be completed will be required to determine when the work must start. Programming tools will be incorporated to increase productivity. APT is a requirement for all automation programming. CAD Advance Plus is to be included in every fire alarm system. For our security projects, we will always choose Siemens products first, and our programmers will have that product certification. For the standardization of graphics, we continue to build on the success of our current zone graphics teams during our project transformation. 80% of graphics time is to be completed off-site. As a new step in the submittal process, graphic standards will have to be submitted for approval. This best practice will allow us to determine style and format with the customer early in the process. The graphics design will be using the Global Engineering Center of Competency, or GECC, to complete projects. It is our strategy to have the local graphics designers complete complex graphics and partner with the customer to create an efficient user interface. The ZTC team will coordinate the duplication of graphics with the GECC. Graphics are to be fully enabled when delivered. You may ask, what's fully enabled mean? This is our commitment to add and test all interactive points to the graphics, not just pictures. Finally, let's discuss our standardized commissioning activities. During the engineering of projects, the assigned engineer is responsible for creating the checkout documents. In the field, the methods to verify a system is operating correctly have been standardized. This includes how to perform functional testing of the programs. The details of these standards are explained in Field Commissioning DDC Point Checkout and the Field Commissioning PPCL Checkout documents. You can read the details of these documents in the Smart Project Delivery Guide found in Bluebeam Studio. In addition to the engineering standards we just covered, there are 2 tools expected to be used to engineer fire projects. Let's start with CAD Advance Plus. CAD Advance Plus eliminates many repetitive tasks. All fire alarm project designs are to provide the following required outputs: auto-addressing of devices, export of initiating devices. Designers are to provide this export to the programmer for their use, and completed voltage drop calculations generated by CAD Advance. If you do not have CAD Advance Plus, installation requests can be submitted to the email listed. The second tool that all designers are required to support is TAP. The setup and use of TAP is a requirement for all fire projects. The technical coordinators will configure TAP, and then it is the responsibility of the design person to load the design drawings to the TAP server. Uploaded design drawings allow field team to control the panel from a phone, perform remote troubleshooting without running back and forth to the panel, ensure data logging for reporting, mark up layouts in TAP to include all as-built conditions, locate devices quickly, and keep track of tested or non-tested devices. The following reports are to be generated using TAP: NFPA Record of Completion, NFPA Record of Inspection, and Device Pass-Fail Report. For many years, the role of programming has been performed by high-level specialists. However, due to the current growth of our business, the ever-changing complexity of the systems that we work on, and the introduction of new technologies and products, these specialists are in high demand and at times unavailable to complete programming tasks. As part of BT's new approach to its project's business, programming is being moved from the job site to the office for improved quality and efficiencies. The Zone Programming Team has been established with the Zone Technical Center, with all programmers reporting to a program supervisor. This team will manage a pool of programming tasks for projects and work with project managers, design engineers, and field specialists on project teams. The team will implement as-designed control sequences as they build solutions, enabling simplified commissioning by specialists. Programming in the Zone Technical Center is the process of interpreting the control strategy of a sequence of operation and creating this strategy in our system software language. The new programming workflow is as follows. Our design engineer is directed through the job specification to create a sequence of operations. The programmer is tasked by the design engineer to provide programming to complement the system design. To achieve customer requirements, the programmer will create a program and the virtual points and write a functional test, which makes sure the program achieves the agreed sequence of operations. The on-site specialist executes the functional test to confirm the system meets customers' requirements. The programming process is managed in Reich to ensure a consistent approach and clear deliverables that are required in all projects. Through the programming process, a programmer is responsible to define the sequence of operations, follow defined programming standards, to build all virtual points and required initial values, provide a test plan for all programs provided, provide a functional test used on-site during commissioning, and submit requests for information needed to clarify items. Each of these deliverables are part of the digital deployment package. The programming elements of the deployment package is physical and virtual points, the program, and functional test. The ZTC should provide required programming and database that meet 90% of the requirements for that project. Your team will need to customize the code provided to meet site conditions. You'll be provided with a functional testing sheet by the ZTC programmer. The programs will need to be functionally tested by your team in the field, as installed programming and databases will be sent back to the ZTC through Bluebeam. The automated programming tool, APT, is to be used for all building automation programming. With APT, our programs will be consistent and efforts will be more efficient. APT will satisfy 95% of the customer's needs. The programmer will need to complete additional programming changes to meet any unique situations and still follow standards. It is recognized field changes will also be required on the job site due to field conditions or customer requests. Any changes requested need to be sent to the APT administrator so they can be added to the tool for everyone else to use. It is important that each APT user provide feedback through the tool. This will allow new features to be added in response to market changes. Implementing new solutions in APT will assist other programmers and specialists who have similar customer requirements. When developing a program, it is expected to follow the BT standards. The following naming standards are supported by APT. Point name suffix, point descriptor as displayed in the sequence of operation, initial values of the virtual points, ramp timing, reset schedules, and controls for each mode and safety. It is recognized that account standards may be created to meet customer requirements. Some reasons from varying from the standards are vertical market requirements and customer-specific requirements. These standards can be shared by everyone using APT. Please take the time to review the standards which can be found on the APT SharePoint. Your team will gain programming efficacy by using productivity tools including APT, PPCL, Debugger, and others to provide a standardized sequence of operations, consistent point database naming conventions, predictable programming blocks and comments, defined commissioning instructions, and the completed digital deployment package. The ZTC, of course, strives to provide error-free code for each and every project. However, there may be times when they will need to be re-engaged to correct programming issues. Your team's feedback is required to make continuous improvements to our smart project delivery processes. Reich is a software as a service, SaaS. Reich can be accessed via the internet at reich.com. When a user is added by their email address, a system-generated email invitation is sent. All users with @siemens.com email must log in using the SSO authentication. Chrome is the recommended browser for accessing Reich. System performance, screen views, functionality, etc. are all enhanced when using Chrome. Install using the Run Advertise Programs option if not already installed. For every 44 OP project that requires a specialist, there is a task in Reich for that employee to create daily log files for the projects they are working on. This allows the project manager and extended project team to always be in sync and avoids multiple phone calls or emails to update the status of the project they are working on. The daily log should be simple and straightforward, but capture items such as, are there any change order opportunities? Is the project on track? Roadblocks or obstacles to achieve the day's objective? Pictures. They say 1,000 words. Using the mobile Reich application, uploading pictures to Reich is very easy and straightforward. Daily logs will then allow you to quickly know the current status and be aware of any challenges that may present themselves. This is for Reich functionality only, not for Siemens process-related issues. Tutorial videos show common functionality in short chunks, and articles are related to specific functionality topics. Click the Reich Assist link in the lower right corner of the desktop app or browser window. On the mobile app for Android only, select Help from the menu. Note that this is not available for iOS devices at this time. Access the Help portal for additional engagement with the Reich community. Visit the knowledge base or chat directly with Reich technical support personnel. By following these standards, adopting new workflows, and utilizing new tools, our project teams will be enabled to provide smart project delivery to our customers.